It's time now for County-Wide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Brad Miller as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives here in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's County-Wide.
Welcome to County-Wide. I'm Paul David. It is good to have you in studio today. We are going to talk about speeding and motorcycles and fatalities and accidents. And in specific, we're talking about Highway 89 out of Phoenix to around Wickenburg to Prescott. From Prescott, 89A to Jerome in the Verde Valley, and then 89A from the Verde Valley up through Oak Creek Canyon, and then hooking back up with I-17. Captain Danny Golden with the Arizona Highway Patrol in studio. Good to see you again.
Great to be here.
Last time you were here, we talked Special Olympics, and we did a follow-up story with you. Big success, turned out well.
Yeah, doing it again this year, too. So.
Well, it's good to see you.
Great to see you.
We've had a lot of stories with you guys lately. Not just you, but other law enforcement agencies around Yavapai and Coconino County. It seems like we have had an abundance of fatal accidents.
Yes.
Whether it be pedestrians versus vehicles, vehicles versus pedestrians, cars versus cars, blowouts, whatever happens to be. We have had, I want to say, half a dozen, if not more, fatal accidents over just the past few weeks.
Yes.
A lot of local people have been losing their lives.
Yes.
Which we were talking, I was talking to Sergeant Mike Hart with DPS, and he was talking about how Highway 89 between Wickenburg and Prescott is quite a spot for racing, motorcycle racing.
Yes, and that other leg that you just mentioned coming up out of Prescott up through over Mingus Mountain into Jerome and here through the Verde Valley and all the way up to Flagstaff.
And it's those wonderful smooth 35-mile-an-hour curves that they're coming up for.
Yeah, if you like Arizona, it's a great route to see. You can see so many different little towns. It is quite scenic. It's beautiful, but it's a very narrow road. Shoulders are often not present, and a lot of people try to get on there, and they are either inexperienced or they're pushing the levels to where they have no business being there.
Now, this is on a national level, too. This route that we're talking about from Wickenburg to Flagstaff and then back south to Phoenix on I-17, it's probably a good day ride for a motorcyclist, right?
Yes.
Who's doing the speed limit, and maybe they've got their wife with them, and they're just doing kind of the scenic route. It's nationally known for that, right?
Nationally recognized as one of the premier rides for a motorcycle enthusiast because it has not only the good views, but it's got the switchbacks. It's got everything that if you enjoy riding a motorcycle, it's got it there. And so many places, little places, Jerome and here, Clarkdale and Cottonwood, that you can stop and get a bite to eat, go up through Sedona and see everything that there is there. What a great day trip.
I'm envious of those people that can do that too. I would love to be able to do that, but I would definitely kill myself if I had a motorcycle. I've tried it before and I just can't do it. And I won't do it again. But it's also nationally known as a place to come and race that bike, push that limit, see how good you are. And I guess there's a lot of videos out there of motorcycles racing through this area. And specifically, I guess they call it the spars, from Wickenburg to Prescott.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, up through Yarnell. Up into Prescott. There's many motorcycle enthusiasts, and that's just it. They've taken what is a great ride, and then they try to push it. They even go to the extent of having scouts to look for the Arizona Department of Public Safety officers that are in the area working. If they see law enforcement, then they try to call off their race or try to call off their time trial. They'll try to see, exactly how fast they can make it from point A to point B. And one of our Arizona Highway Patrolmen just a few weeks ago stopped and arrested 2 of them for 93 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone.
And what happened to those guys once you
stopped them? They got to go to the local jail. They got to have their motorcycles towed and impounded. So it's a lesson for them, but thankfully they were just arrested and we weren't picking up body parts off of the highway.
I'm going to get to that part with you in a second, because that's really the horrible part. But these 2 guys now, is it a citation? I mean, it's jail. That's criminal speed, right? What are the charges for something like that? 93 and a 35.
When you're going that fast, that's reckless driving. you cannot see around the corners. You have no idea what's coming up, and all it takes is one, as we discussed, a bicyclist minding his own business, trying to train and have a good day for him, come around the corner and take one of them out. There's pedestrians that cross the road. There's so many things that can go wrong. That's reckless driving. They get to go to jail.
Now we've had, I guess one story that comes to mind is the two guys in cars that were racing.
Yes. And
ran into a motorcyclist up there, right?
Yes,
is
that's
that right?
the other thing. You've got, mind you, not everybody that rides a motorcycle that goes on there is pushing the limits. It's a great place to go. And in the case that you're talking about, we had two cars that are trying to push the limits, and they're racing, and they're going to come back over from, I believe they were coming from Jerome back down the hill, and trying to race, getting in the switchbacks, and oftentimes they'll be on the wrong side of the roadway trying to get through and maneuver some of those turns. And in this case was on the wrong side of the road and took out a motorcycle that was heading up towards Jerome.
Now, how many bad accidents would you say we've had on that stretch just recently? It's been busy out there.
Recently, within the past month, we've had three bad wrecks.
Okay.
We had a fatality that was, I think, just 2 weeks ago, down in the spars that we were just discussing as well.
We don't know if that was racing.
No, that one in particular, it was an inexperienced rider, and in this case, a gentleman had a bunch of friends that said, "You've got to try to come up here and ride," and he self-admitted that he was not an experienced rider, and was going from Wickenburg up towards Prescott. The problem is when you get up there and you start seeing those drop-offs, you start seeing there's no shoulders, and this is very tight. If you're inexperienced, the panic can start going in, and it's something that you can't afford to do if you're on a motorcycle. And he made a technical error, which caused his motorcycle to lay down and slide, and unfortunately it slid across into the southbound lane, and there was another rider with his wife that was southbound, and the motorcycle slid right into him, and they collided and it killed the driver of the other motorcycle.
Sergeant Hart sent us some photos, and they're going to pop up on the screen here too, of just what these motorcycles look like after they've been smashed, and there's just nothing left of them. I mean, most cars look horrible too, but motorcycles even worse, I think.
Right. Even and I think in some of the photos we gave you, it shows what happens when the motorcycles get off into those rocks, because there's sheer rock cliffs going up and down. And if you get tangled into those rocks, it's a recipe for disaster.
So what is the Department of Public Safety or the Highway Patrol doing to kind of try to stop the racing? I mean, God knows we don't care that it's a scenic overlook. The scenic look, that's great. It's a scenic ride. It's the ones that come up to specifically race it.
Right.
You said an officer actually has found cameras on the side of 89.
Yes. The YouTube videos, there has to be someone videoing it, and there's some that will send a rider up. We've caught them with an individual trying to ride backwards to film someone. There's others that have taken cameras and set them up stationary. One of our officers found a camera that was set up on a tripod and just waited there. We didn't get them coming aggressively through, because when we found the camera, one of the lookouts said, "Uh-oh, we're in trouble." And so they came riding up. "Oh, what's this here for? We left it here." Yeah, we don't think so.
Okay, so that's how that kind of works.
Yes.
But they do have scouts.
Yes.
So he knew you were coming. He knew you were there, so he was obviously not speeding at the time, and there's no law about leaving a camera on the side of the road, is there?
No, we're combating that, but and like you said, what are we doing? Is we're working with every municipality you can imagine. If it's coming bordering towards you in Jerome with Chief Muma, and anywhere along here, we work with the local agencies and the county as well. With Sheriff Masher, everybody, because it is such a problem and such a danger to everybody, we're combating it. We have put up. We've done aerial observation with aircraft to try to get them. We have stationed an officer in one location and got them as they're going up, and had other officers waiting for them at the top of the hill. Those are great, and we've gotten some great arrests out of it. But the problem is as soon as we are identified as being in the area, their communication system is phenomenal, and they will let everybody know that they're in the area and to stay clear or slow down, which is ultimately what we want. Just slow down, enjoy the ride.
All right. Department of Public Safety, Arizona Highway Patrol Captain Danny Golden in studio today. We're talking about the speeding that takes place on Highway 89, especially along the motorcyclists. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
I was in junior high the first time I caught my mom using denial. She had to have known her painkillers were missing because I kept stealing them. Her denial was so out of hand.
So she doesn't even know? I'm going out.
It was like I could get away with anything.
You kids have fun.
And that was when I knew. When she was addicted to denial.
Denial is a drug. Get help. The partnership at drugfree.org.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Now, some action from the courts. Billie Jean King renewing her rivalry with Arthritis. First set, furious volley, and right to the net for a winner. Beautiful forehand there. Arthritis, stunned. And here, match point. Billie Jean with the ace, taking it in straight sets. Afterwards, a jubilant Billie Jean King.
Tennis is a weapon for me with arthritis. There's nothing like it for me to hit a ball, run to the ball, anytime, any court. I'm ready. Let's go.
What's your weapon against arthritis? Find out at fightarthritispain.org.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Paul David. Good to have you in studio. Captain Danny Golden with the Arizona Highway Patrol. I want to say Department of Public Safety, but
that's what we
DPS.
are. So
I call it DPS because it's just it's much easier to fit that into a 3-minute newscast than Arizona Highway Patrol. So you mentioned there during the first break that they've got great communication, that these guys, gals will call ahead and say, okay, DPS, Captain Danny Golden, he's going to be sitting at such and such a spot, mile marker, watch out for that. Yes. Is there like a production company out there that will actually solicit motorcycle racers to come up and say, hey, anybody who wants to do this, we're looking to film this? Is that how it is? Or
I don't know of any.
They just all so intertwined with each other.
I don't know of any specific one. It's just one, I guess with YouTube, if you post a video and it gets enough hits, that's when you start making money from it. So the more extreme something is, that's where you get the bang for the buck out of it. But as far as their communication, they'll let others know either by cell phone, text message, Facebook, any media outlet that you can think of. They will let them know, hey, they're up here. And they've often, when we have an officer that is aggressively working the area, they'll say, look out, he's working this specific shift. He sits right here, or this is how they caught me. We'll find those posts often. Hey, this is how I got caught. Look out for this.
Have you pulled any of these guys over that are going 97, 93 into 35, and what the reason is for it?
The other ones, I was just riding. I was just trying to get from here to there, and there's no excuse for 90 and a 35. It's not there.
Okay, so I'm going home Tuesday, and I'm on Cornville Road, and Harley Davidson comes past me. Well, I'm on a double yellow line. I just left Cornville. I haven't even gotten past, I think it's 35 miles per hour forever as you're going through Cornville. And so he passes me a double yellow, gets in front of me, and then he passes the next car in a double yellow and a curve.
Right.
And you know, part of me's thinking I'm going to get on the phone and dial 911, but then I'm not supposed to be on my cell phone while I'm driving. Yeah. So I'm
hands-free.
Hands-free.
Got to get a hands-free device.
Yeah, I've got a rotary dial cell phone, so
okay,
it's tough. Anyways, you want us to let you know when this stuff is happening. I've told you, I saw one come down Oak Creek Canyon once, and he just weaving in and out. He had a passenger in and out of all of us, got to the very bottom, and as I reached finally the bottom of the switchbacks, there he was pulled over getting a ticket. So I tooted my horn and gave him a wave. Yes. You want us to help you guys with this, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We only have a limited number of officers, so the more eyes that we have out there, and we get calls all the time of aggressive and reckless drivers. And make no mistake, when we get them, we're going to try to get to the area, because we've had them say, you've got to do something or this person is going to kill somebody. They get impatient driving this area because they want to be going. And you've got someone that's obeying the law, doing 35, being very cautious going through the curves, and they get frustrated. Oh, I want to be going so much faster. So that's when they start making the bad passes. Well, that's when there's often a car coming the other way. And so those motorcycles, those are missiles when they're going down the road at that. And it will mess a car up very badly. You know, the rider himself, when you take, you're a projectile after that. But that motorcycle will go into a car at a great distance. And if it hits it on the side or everything, there's a high probability you're going to kill someone that's driving a car just by hitting it with a motorcycle.
That brings me to this question. I find it pretty selfish, is that, okay, I'm doing 93 and a 35, I'm racing, I'm doing pretty good, one mistake, boom, I'm launched. Now I'm just a piece of meat laying on the road. Here comes Captain Danny Golden. You get to scrape me off the road.
Yeah.
How do you handle that? You see that a lot.
There's one of the downsides of being a Department of Public Safety officer is the fact that you see stuff like that often.
You have got to see some of the most horrible fatal accidents I can possibly imagine. I mean, you know, your local police here in the area, they see bad accidents, but you guys are on the interstates with a speed 65, 75, 90, 100 miles an hour people are speeding.
Right.
What a mess.
Yes. Yes, and you know, there's some things that you just stay with you forever. And when we investigate a collision, we try to track that person's movements. What did they do just prior to this, up to like 24 hours before? We try to find out what they were doing. And the ones that go out and they end up just killing themselves by being ridiculous in speeds, you look at those and you just shake your head, because the downside of that is, aside from someone dying, is the fact that now somebody in law enforcement has to go to a door and knock on the door and say, hey, this person's not coming home.
Yeah, that's not very fair.
No, it's not. And there was a fatality that was on I-17, and I went to the door there in Prescott Valley, and you know, I'm looking at two kids. Their dad's not coming home. And the wife, it is just not pleasant at all. And the other one that I told you about, that poor husband and his wife, they were just driving, enjoying it. They were doing everything right. And a person makes a technical error, and we end up having a fatal accident.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. DPS Captain Danny Golden in studio today. I'm Paul David. We got to take another quick 2-minute break. We'll be right back with Countywide.
Having a fire escape plan is very important to keep your family safe and together in the event of a fire. When you awake to the sound of a smoke detector and smoke in your room, don't stand straight up. Carefully roll off your bed and stay low under the smoke. If your door is shut, feel the door with the back of your hand. Slowly open the door if no heat is felt. Always stay low until you get to the outside of your home. Always have 2 ways out of your house and a specified meeting place somewhere outside your home. Home escape plans should be drawn up and rehearsed on a regular basis. This could be the difference between life and death if caught in a fire.
Yes, ready, ready. Go get it.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Fire can happen at any time. What would you try to save?
My family photos.
My grandfather's war memorabilia.
My dogs.
I'm firefighter Brandon Wacker with the Cotton Fire Department. A working smoke detector is your best defense in the event of a fire. Make sure you have a smoke detector in every room except your kitchen. Test them monthly and change the battery once a year. Take the time to save the things you can't replace.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Paul David, Captain Danny Golderman, DPS in studio today. We've got just a couple minutes left in the program, and being the news director here, and dead. Oh, it gets to me after a while. It just does, because it's like, wow, we've got so many people that are just dying on our roadways. Got people laying down on them, people getting ejected from their vehicles because they don't have a seatbelt on. Motorcyclists, they should wear a helmet. Of course, it's their choice, right?
Yes, yeah, it's their choice. When they're over 18, you get to make a choice. But just know you need them. And we as an agency are taking a very aggressive approach right now towards restraint usage, especially with the new child restraint law, seatbelt citations, and if you're in the vehicle and you're not restrained, you're going to get a citation for that.
And our goal for the show today was not to pick on motorcyclists, not to pick on motorcycles that want to speed or people want to ride motorcycles. That wasn't it. It just so happens that this stretch of the road happens to be very popular among racing motorcyclist enthusiasts. And it just brought to my mind how many fatal accidents we've had. Now, we've got a few close calls that we're talking about on the air today, so we're still seeing quite a few accidents lately. It just seems like in the last month we've had quite a few.
Statewide.
So really my goal was to have you come in and tell everybody, just slow down.
Yeah, slow down, enjoy your life, enjoy it, because it is very fragile.
Time's flying by fast already. Summer's gone and fall is here, so let's just slow down.
No, if we catch you, if you're speeding to that level, you're going to go to jail. And no, if you hurt someone or kill someone, we've got full support of the Yavapai County Attorney, and they will prosecute you.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Captain Danny Gold.
It's a pleasure.
Good seeing you. I'm Paul David. That's today's Countywide. We'll talk to you again next time.
This has been Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday as we tackle the hot topics and talk to the decision makers across Yavapai County. That's Countywide with Brad Miller and Paul David each Tuesday and Thursday on this Yavapai Broadcasting station.